Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with round 2 of the weekend for our Cabral HouseCalls, answering your questions every Saturday and Sunday on the show. Hopefully, you've been tuning in over the past couple of years to the Cabral Concept. If you haven't, all of the back episodes are at stephencabral.com/podcasts, and you're able to actually search now with that little search box any keyword you would like. So if you are interested in Hashimoto's, you'll type that in. If you're interested in rheumatoid arthritis, you'll type that in. If you're interested in learning about GERD or migraines or allergies or anything you want, you can type in that keyword right at stephencabral.com/podcasts and find the topic that may pertain to you. And of course, if you ever can't find a podcast, I probably have done one on the topic. So just write in at cabralsupportgroup.com. Cabralsupportgroup.com is our free Facebook group, and that is going to get you all of the access to our amazing health coaches. One of those is Michelle Blake. Michelle's amazing at being able to retrieve which podcast, what topic was spoken about. So give Michelle a shout. Tell her we said hello, and see if she can help you find your show as well. Now, if there isn't a show, you haven't been able to find one, then absolutely write in at stephencabral.com/ask Cabral. And your question will be answered in about 6 to 8 weeks' time. I know it's a good amount of time to wait, but we answer them all questions in the order they come in. That's why I do say, hey, write into cabralsupportgroup.com, because you could even get same-day answers. All right, let's get started with today's show. I just opened up the giant document from yesterday. Thousands and thousands of questions have come in. And today is episode 2242. So head on over to stephencabral.com/2242. Feel free to read along with the questions. We don't change the questions in any way. If someone is speaking negatively about a product, excuse me, we just edit out the product name. That's it. But we keep the questions exactly as is. This is always my first time reading them, so it's just as exciting for me as it is for you. All right, let's get into it. Hannah's up first. I have a lot of confusion around protein consumption, especially when building muscle. Do you have a rule of thumb of how much protein is needed? When working with a nutritionist online, at one point, she had me doing 112 grams. My body weight was around 140. This number was super hard to hit if I was not downing protein bars and shakes. Protein bars and protein shakes do not agree with my stomach at all. After finding you, I'm doing the detox and running some labs to work on my gut health. I would really like to get protein from natural sources. Can you help with how much protein do you think is needed? Excuse me. I've been speaking all day today, a lot of recordings, so I have a little bit of a dry throat, so you'll have to just bear with me. I'll probably whisper a little bit more during today's show. I've done a lot of shows on protein intake. Now, when you're talking about protein, for your average individual, not working out a lot, the average is about 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, okay, or per pound of body weight. So it would look like this. You would take your body weight if you're 150 pounds, and you would just multiply by 0.8. It's actually per kilo. Sorry, I apologize about that. So first you would take your body weight, and I'm going to show you a much simpler way of doing it, but let's say you're 150 pounds, and I'm going to divide that by 2.2. That's per kilogram, all right? So 2.2 equals 60. Now I'm going to multiply that by 0.8. And I get 48. So it's a very small amount of protein, right? So it's not a lot of 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. 48 grams is not a whole lot of protein for a 150-pound individual. But that's the barest of minimum, right? So the best way to look at it is about half your weight, in grams of protein per day. So that 150-pound individual would get about 75 grams of protein per day. That's much more adequate for someone that is walking those 10,000 steps per day and maybe exercising a couple times a week. Now, if you're someone that vigorously exercises, you're probably going to want to be at somewhere around half to 1 grams of protein on lean body mass. So most likely what your nutritionist did, which is not wrong at all, they took your body fat percentage and they figured out that out of your 140 pounds, you had 112 pounds of lean body mass. That includes bone, that includes everything that isn't body fat. That's basically how you figure it out, because I did the same thing. For the first 10 years of my practice, this is what I did. I was a nutritionist. I did advanced body fat calculations. I used anti-inflammatory diet plans. We did all sorts of wild things in the late 90s and early 2000s before it was even mainstream. And again, I didn't make this up. I learned it from brilliant people. And so that's what we would do. And so we would just say, okay, you're 140 pounds, and let's say you're at 20% body fat. We're going to take away the 28 pounds. We're going to end up somewhere around 112. Okay, so that's what you would eat, and that's what we would do for people, and it still holds true to this day. So the 150-pound person, let's say they were 20% body fat. So I'm going to do 150, and I'm going to multiply minus 30 pounds, right? 20%, 15 pounds times 2. So 120 grams of protein. That's what they're going to eat if they're an active exerciser. That's pretty much on point for if you're someone that's vigorously exercising or you're looking to put on muscle mass. So that's it. Now, if you're looking to do bodybuilding, about 1 gram per current pound of body weight is typically standard. You can eat more. The problem is it can be then more detrimental to your health. I've gone over this before. I've been through it in my own life. I was trying to get to 200 pounds as a natural bodybuilder. I made it there, but I was eating 275 to 325 grams of protein per day. It was certainly one of the unhealthiest periods of my life, that's for sure. Not good for your digestive system, not good for your overall immune system, kidneys, etc. So that is that. It looks like you're pretty good, around 100 grams or so, maybe a little bit more per day if you exercise a lot, you're trying to put on muscle. And again, then you just do the math and you just divide by 3 or 4 meals per day. So you're only looking at about 30 grams per meal. 30 grams per meal is only it's 5 ounces of protein. That's it. So it's literally like the size of your palm, a piece of chicken or fish or meat. You can look at vegan-based sources like hemp hearts, and it wouldn't be as challenging to get. So not too bad. I do recommend, try something like the daily nutritional support. Try something that's easier on your stomach in terms of that for digestion. All right, that was a long answer. Hopefully that was helpful. Gary's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I've had severe gut issues and I'm working with a functional doctor. We've determined that I have leaky gut and bacterial imbalances in the gut. I also suffer from chronic constipation. We're trying to address these things currently. I also did a food sensitivity test, IgG, very few problems there. Massive bloating and cramping in the colon with every meal, no matter what I eat. I tried the pulse test for IgG and found no increase in pulse. I am getting horrible reactions every time I eat anything. Any advice? I know stress is making things worse, and I'm very stressed currently, but it seems to be a bit extreme to be only stress. Thank you, Gary. All right, Gary. Totally get it. Totally understand. If you've done... So you have a bacterial imbalance, you have leaky gut. It's the first things to work on. But remember that I've said this before, the only people who don't get better, the only people who relapse are those people that have what's called ileocecal valve dysfunction, and they end up reinfecting their small intestine with colon-based bacteria, because the valve that stops the colon, the large intestine, from backfilling into the small intestine with its bacteria that you definitely don't want. That's like going the wrong way down a one-way street. That's part of the issue, and that's also from stress. So if you start to get bloated right away, no matter what foods you eat, I would definitely look at weak digestion first. So you're going to be doing the CBO protocol most likely, probably going to be adding the citruscytal drops, but you're going to want to do something for bowel peristaltic movement. So you're going to want to be using something maybe like the sleep protocol at night. I know that sounds strange, but it has 5-HTP in it. It has things like phosphatidylserine. You want to relax the nervous system. You want to relax the colon. In the morning, you might even use a little bit of magnesium. So you're going to have to work with your integrative health practitioner to get the bowels moving so there isn't this lockup of constipation and weak peristaltic movement, which is just allowing all that food to simply putrefy, ferment with additional bacteria as well. So that's my highest recommendation. I have a whole course in this as well if you're interested in going deep, and that's at stephencabral.com/courses. And that's built for the general public, not just for doctors. All right, Mallory's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm 27 years old. I've been sick since I was a toddler. 4 sinus surgeries by the time I was 11. Insane amount of antibiotics and medication. So much so that it stained my adult teeth. Ever since I've had extreme gut issues, anxiety, and more, I developed POTS, autoimmune issues. A year ago, candida, pathogens, parasites, mold. I started my own parasite cleanse, which resulted in an instant crawling sensation all over my body. Intense herxheimer reactions, tested positive for the flu, found a functional medicine doctor, ran several tests, currently on a protocol similar to yours for my immune system and detox. He believes this is the root to the vast majority of my issues. The problem today is that it's been a year and I still see visible pathogens, film-like issues in all of my bowel movements. All right, so let's give you where to start. Now remember, it sounds like you're working with a great practitioner. Here's the issue. You have to go gut first. You have to fix the gut first. You can't fix the immune system without fixing the gut. I want to repeat that just for all of us. You can't fix the immune system without fixing the digestive system. When 80% of your immune system is influenced by what's going on with your gut, it's impossible to fix the immune system without fixing the gut. You have to get rid of the parasites. You have to get rid of the candida overgrowth. You have to get rid of the bacterial overgrowth and H. pylori if you have it. You have to. You can't even absorb the right nutrients you need to get over POTS and all the other issues. Then once that's done, you're going to heal and seal the gut. Once you heal and seal the gut, the immune system is not going to be as aggravated. You'll better then be able to control your POTS, your anxiety, all sorts of other issues. You'll better absorb your food. There's no doubt about it. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. So again, I always give the disclaimer. I'm not providing any medical advice, no medical treatment plans, and no medical cures. That's not my job. My job is to look at underlying root causes. I cannot recommend enough using the CBO protocol with the citruscytal drops. But before that, the parasite protocol, intestinal cleanse, which includes the binders, then the CBO protocol with the citruscytal drops, then the CBO finisher. Again, I cannot provide an exact protocol for you because I don't know you, but that's what we do in our practice. And then we work from there. Again, we're using the daily nutritional support. We're building the body back up. All right, so hopefully that's helpful, Mallory. Zita is up next. Hi, what about illnesses like eating compulsive disorders or bulimia? Can they provoke adrenal insufficiency or hypothyroidism? Kind regards, Zita. Okay, it's a great question. And they absolutely can. So in 2 ways. So let's not name an eating disorder. Let's put them in a bucket. And again, I know not a lot of people like to do that, but I want to start there, okay? So I don't want to call out any individual one. So what happens is there's a large degree of stress and typically anxiety and worry and maybe even trauma that comes along with these disordered eatings. So what happens is all that stress affects our adrenals, technically what's called the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, these are in our brain. Then they signal our adrenals what to do, right? The brain tells our adrenals what to do. And the adrenals affect the thyroid, right? It begins to slow the thyroid, causing hypothyroidism. The other issue with a lot of disordered eating issues is that there is not a lot of nutrition, micronutrients available, so we become nutrient deficient, which also affects the adrenals and the thyroid. So yes, Zita, it absolutely can affect those 2 specific organs or hormones. All right, good question. Catherine's up next. Hi, Stephen. I've been lifting for 8 years. I was a swimmer growing up. In college, I went from 140 to 105 pounds in 3 years by eating a paleo diet. I was 6% body fat. I gained 20 pounds by eating 2,700 calories of paleo in 2017 and started intuitive eating. By mid-2020, I randomly started to gain weight. I tried cutting my calories and started binge eating as a result. I gained 50 pounds in 8 months. I was getting debilitating migraines. I haven't had a period since 2018. Started cutting with a coach in 2021. We reversed to 2,300 calories, went down from there. I lost 12 pounds, plateaued in July. We tried going lower. I went down to 1,200 calories, still paleo, didn't lose weight. I believe my hormones are messed up and the binge eating is coming back. My digestion is not good and I have to take Linzess. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm 5'5", 156, 158 pounds, 26% body fat based on a DEXA scan. I still have no period. My mood and energy are all over the place. I take progesterone, but it doesn't do anything. Any tips on where to go from here? I want to get back to 140 pounds. All right. 140 pounds at 5'5" is very reasonable. You should be able to do that and not struggle to maintain that. The problem is again, no diagnosis here, most likely have hormone imbalances. And that is because of all the ups and downs in the past and stress and the over-exercise, the under-eating, all of it matters. Here's what we do. We run the Big 5 labs. I mean, that's what we have to do. We run the Big 5 labs. And if you can't run the Big 5 labs, at least run the stress, mood, and metabolism. We need to see what's going on with your adrenals, your sex hormones, your thyroid, your testosterone, DHEA, which is part of the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, your vitamin D, and your overall blood sugar balance. So that's just a must. And the reason is that even if you're not getting your period, you're just going to take the lab of the time of most symptoms during the month, or if it's always the same, then you'll just take it any day. And we need to see what's going on with your body. I mean, we work with women like this every single day. Same as your case. Every single day in our practice. Not a day goes by. We see this all the time. It's with infertility. It's with under-eating, over-exercise, stress, trauma, disordered eating, etc. And whatever the reason, we see this all the time because you can imbalance your hormones. So I can't give you the plan, but we can give you the plan once we know what the underlying root cause imbalances are. I would run the Big 5 if possible. If not, I would run the starter kit plus the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism. If you can only run one lab to get a precise plan for you, I would run the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism. All right? Hopefully that's helpful. Cassandra is up next and last today on the show. She says, "Hi, Dr. Brawl. Since probably November, I started noticing tiny bumps on my eyelid. They've only appeared on the top of my right eye. It's not like a sty that I've seen people get on the main surface of the eyelid. They show up below the lash line, like where the two lids meet when you blink. They're the same color as the rest of my skin and can be scraped off with my fingernail. They don't hurt, but I'm just wondering what could be this and if it's a sign of something to be concerned about. Thank you." All right, this is a great question. This could be multiple things. So again, no diagnosis, but I'm going to share with you a few things that I've seen in my practice with just this. I've seen this with yeast overgrowth. So fungal overgrowth in the intestines can sometimes cause skin conditions. I've seen this quite a bit. I've seen this with blood sugar dysregularity, eventually leading to skin tags, right? Because I don't know if this is the same, but these things could grow larger. And skin tags are typically pretty close to the same color of the body. That can happen with blood sugar dysregulation. It can happen, again, blood sugar dysregulation can lead to PCOS-based issues, but that's what I've seen it around as well. The last one that I've seen it with is with food sensitivities, especially around dairy and eggs. Those are the two main ones that I've seen it around. So it'd be interesting for you to do something like the 21-day Equal Life Detox and see if you don't get any in weeks 2 and 3. And if you don't, it could have been a detox issue, it could have been a digestive issue, food sensitivity issue. It'd be interesting to look at that. So those are the 3 things that I would look at. You can find out, obviously, your blood sugar, insulin with your doctor or by running the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism. Food sensitivities by running the IgG food sensitivity test. What else? And eggs and dairy, you could even just do an elimination of those 2, and I would eliminate gluten if possible, just for 3 weeks. And again, you would eliminate those anyways during the 21-day functional medicine detox. So that's what I would do. I'd give it a shot. We love hearing success stories. You can also write in, let us know if this was the answer to the issue that you had. And of course, always check in. Always let us know if we can help. Truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for writing in. Thank you for your support of the Cabral concept. We wouldn't be here without you. All right, take care, everyone. I'll talk with you tomorrow on our Mindset and Motivation Monday. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.